Good morning. Welcome to Thursday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day. And I hope that you find great solace in this card. This card comes from a deck that is a deck that gives people pause. Let's put it that way. Very, very deep cards and very, very deep messages. Not cards to be just read and, oh, that was great, and on we go. Oftentimes when we've used this deck, people will send messages after the point saying, you know, I've been thinking about that card for days. It's one of those decks. And it comes to us at a time when I think this is highly relevant. For the past couple of days, I've been having quite a few people in my life in crisis, clients, friends, etc. And I think it is the inevitable stirring that happens when big change is afoot. So, and some of the people I follow have been talking about these big changes we're making on a subconscious level in some cases, but also on a conscious level. The big changes we're making right here, right now. So this card fits right in with that, and it's entitled The Only Imperative. The Only Imperative, and I think that is a great title for it. This card deck is created by a man out of Toronto, Canada, and it's an older deck. I think it's 2005, but the words and the themes, this is wisdom material, absolute wisdom material. So hopefully that kind of lays a good groundwork for today's card, and I feel like some tapping would be a good thing. So let me just think for a minute here. No, let me just feel for a minute here. Good morning to whomever popped on. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. We'll give it a minute for a few people to pop on. And good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. Glad you are here. Do some breath and some tapping, and I'm pondering our direction. Okay, so I think how I want to frame this card up, and our almost to the end of 21 days invoking divine right timing and divine right order comments toward this direction. Faith and trust. Faith and trust. Faith and trust. Faith and trust. When we can drum up nothing else, let us drum up faith and trust. Okay? So we're going to do some breathing, we're going to do some tapping, and then we're going to do the card, The Only Imperative. So, side of the hand, like where the baby finger is, kind of a reset button. If you find yourself stuck on anything, this is a great place to tap, right? So, nice deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Even though sometimes I feel stuck, I am willing to address it. Even though I can't often see a path forward, I know in my heart and soul there's a path. Good morning, Barb. We're just doing some tapping. Even when I feel completely demoralized, I know there's a tomorrow to come. Inside corner of the eyebrows, faith and trust. Outside corner of the eyes, I choose to feed faith and trust. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Under the eyes, I choose to believe. Under the nose, even when I can't see the path, I believe it's there. Under the mouth, even when things seem terrible, I choose to believe. Good morning, Abigail. We're just doing a couple rounds of tapping here. Collarbone, faith and trust. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Under the arms, like where your bra strap would run across. Faith and trust. Top of your head. My faith and trust feed my strength. Inside corner of the eyes. Sometimes the only imperative is to take another step. Outside corner of the eyes. Even when I'm not sure about that step, I choose to take it. Under the eyes, faith and trust. Under the nose, faith and trust. Under the mouth, trust and faith. Collarbone, today the divine will show me the way. Under the arms, one step at a time. And around the crown of the head, I choose faith and trust. Good morning, Beth. Glad you're here. Nice deep breath in. Let it go. One more. And the reason that I believe this card is popping up now is we are in for some dark days. We are having some dark days. And to hold on to faith and trust and channel our inner Winston Churchill. If you find yourself walking through hell, keep walking. Keep walking. Sometimes that's all that's required. Sometimes it's, I'm going to bed early and I trust tomorrow is another day. Give it another shot. Take another step. Allow the divine to lead you. All right? So that's kind of this card. And I believe it's preparatory for some of the difficulties that still lie ahead. Will we come out the other side of this? Absolutely. Absolutely. When enough of us believe we can. Faith and trust. So let's do our 21 days of invoking divine right timing and divine right order. I was going to say divine right trust. Trust in the divine, most definitely. So, good morning to everybody. Glad you're all here. Okay, nice deep breath. Let it go. Today the divine will show me the way. I am open to all signs and messages, including today's card. The perfect steps are already picked, and I am guided to them. Moving through the world open to constant help gets easier and easier with practice. Again, I'm going to channel my inner Mr. Rogers' mom, who said, whenever there's something horrible going on, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers. They are always there. Look for the helpers. Okay, so for those who are now titillated in terms of our card deck, Pilgrim Cards, Austin Repath. And by pilgrim, he doesn't mean the occupiers who came to the United States. He means seekers, those who are searching, those who are on their life path, which is, guess what? All of us. So, the only imperative, take a breath, let it go. Sometimes you slow to a crawl, then stop, unable to go further. You stand swaying back and forth, unsure whether you will sink to your knees or find the strength to go on. You long for a quiet glade, some refreshment, a restorative sleep under the sheltering branches of a tree. You close your eyes, hoping to see a ministering angel. Instead, only the blackness peers back at you. The paralyzing fatigue of your spirit is the only reality. Then comes the realization that to remain here is to collapse and sicken. Where we're at in our world right now, to remain here is to collapse and sicken. Gradually you begin to accept that there really is only one imperative. What lies ahead is beyond your knowing. You trust there will be food and shelter for a weary traveler. Not much to go on, but for now it will have to do. You pick up your staff and push on. So many things come to my mind with that. I think about beleaguered peoples over the millennia. I think about Britain during World War II being bombed, and yet they go about their business. You do what you've got to do, right? People who go through natural disasters. At some point, you pick yourself up, you bury your dead, you find your path, and you go on. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you're here. We're coming to some of that place where some people's lives are taken, some people's lives are inexorably dragged forward. There is change that happens, and we can choose. I'm going to channel from Jungian analyst Marion Woodman. We can choose to go kicking and screaming like a pig to slaughter, or we can pick ourselves up and walk with some modicum of grace. If the belches, wheezes, and coughs of society that we're going through right now, the upheavals, are what we are facing, we get to choose how we face that. How do we keep our chin up? How do we step forward in faith? How do we discern our next step? What is in the highest and best good of all here? Take a breath. And again, I'm going to say, it is no accident that we are doing the 21 days of invoking divine right timing and divine right order. It is no accident. These are the things we are meant to be paying attention to at this juncture. I'm going to read them again. Today the divine will show me the way. I am open to all signs and messages. The perfect steps are already picked, and I am guided to them. Moving through the world open to constant help gets easier and easier with practice. So when we find something that we say, this is not working, this hasn't worked for a long time, it's not working now, what are the alternatives? Even just posing the question, what are the alternatives, opens the field of possibility. And we want to be in that field. We want to step into the field of possibility. So I'm going to go back to an old image from just the secret days. And it's the idea that there is this vast sea of possibilities, an endless sea of possibilities. We as the individual step up with our cup and we scoop up some possibilities. And then we pick, we decide, we move forward. Each step forward allows us to scoop up more and different. And it's, again, ever expanding. The challenge for us is not to look at this infinite sea of possibilities and get overwhelmed. That is not helpful, because then we're not going to scoop with our cup and take anything out. We're going to try to run the other direction. Whatever you scoop up in your cup, you trust. This is the divine right amount and type for me. And again, you may not have any idea what you're supposed to do with what's in your cup, but nevertheless, it's in your cup. Spend some time with it. Hold that cup. Sip from that cup. One of the other exhortations that kind of makes my skin crawl, but I understand it, I get it, is the one of, don't just dip your cup, throw yourself in the water. Throw yourself in the water. That is the best way to experience as full a life as you can experience. That kind of sets your teeth on edge, doesn't it? Throw myself in the water? All right. But oftentimes, when we do those kinds of things, when we're called to something that seems beyond our current capabilities, it is because our future capabilities lie in doing that thing. We do it and more opens up for us. Faith and trust. So, your only imperative today is to continue to step forward in faith. It may feel like you're going a toenail's length. Good for you. It may feel like it's a huge leap off into the abyss. Good for you. Whatever you see right in front of you, whatever's calling to you, whatever that still inner voice is leading you to do that. Do that. And then come back tomorrow. And we'll talk again. And we'll maybe have another card from the Pilgrim Cards deck. Because you know how the decks kind of show up for a while and then they recede to the background again after they've led us where we're meant to go. Moving through the world, open to constant help, gets easier and easier with practice. Enjoy your practice today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.